What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. And if you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It's time now for the Wednesday edition of the Pandemic Update for Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Last time we did a pandemic update, I told you I was having a problem with my ears. That problem, while it still exists, I did go to see my doctor today. So there's some good news here. I went to see my doctor and he suggested that I go back on my allergy medicine, which is Allegra. I had stopped taking it for a while because my allergies weren't really bothering me, but as of lately, as you know, ragweed was starting to act up, starting to have the coughing business again, all that stuff is starting to act back up. He suggested, you know what, why don't I go back on my allergy medicine? So I'm doing that. Plus, if it does not improve the ear issue, the pressure issue, he said I should go see an ear, nose, and throat specialist. So we'll see what happens with Allegra for a week. Hopefully it works. It worked in the past for other allergy-related issues. We'll see if it works this time. Then he asked about my breathing today. And I told him, well, my breathing issue, it's with the fall allergies. It's coming back again. The postnasal drip issue is back again in full force. So I'm going to unfortunately have to go back to my sleep doctor specialist and get a pulmonary function test yet again. Now, they're fantastic doctors and everything, but, you know, I have a thing about doing that right now because we're in elevated levels of COVID, but my doctor said it's important that I go and get that done as soon as possible. So I called, made an appointment. I have a pulmonary function test next week. I was shocked. I actually got an appointment as soon as next week, which the first time I went to him just a few years ago, or was it about a year ago? I think it was a year ago now. I had to wait quite a long time because they were fairly well backed up. So what that's telling me is that maybe some of the backlog with people needing to see specialists, maybe that's finally come down, or at least in my area. It could be completely different in your area, but yep, that's where I stand. I'm going to have to go back to the sleep doctor, get a pulmonary function test, a PFT as they call it, and then go from there. And I'm going to have a follow-up appointment to see, maybe something's changed. Maybe I'll need another CAT scan. We'll find out. But anywho, let's get into today's pandemic update. I have several things to share with you on the website. First off, anyone remember when Jimmy Kimmel tested positive? Yes, he tested positive again not long ago. Well, I was watching Jimmy Kimmel Live this week. I checked in on him Monday night, and I checked in on him, I believe it was again last night. He's back on Jimmy Kimmel Live, and he doesn't sound sick. He sounds like he's doing okay again, so I guess he had a quick recovery from this case. Then we come down here. There was a Craig Melvin who tested positive. Craig Melvin tested positive. He was is a host on the Today Show. There's a lot of people on the Today Show. And as you know, many of them have had COVID. Al Rooker, Savannah Guthrie. I mean, it goes on. But Craig Melvin actually just had his second case of COVID. He was not on for a long time. Now, mind you, I don't watch the Today Show on a regular basis. Maybe once in a rare while, I'll have it on. I'll see Al Rooker or something. But apparently he was gone for several days. He revealed that, hey, he had COVID for 5 days. And get this, he also says he is having some sort of a brain issue. Let's click on this here. It's right here. I believe this is the one. And he actually said his brain was not functioning properly after the case or something. So that's relatively interesting. And his first case, by the way, in case you're wondering, was back in May of 2022. I added a video with this where he talked about his first case back when he had it. He did like a virtual, they put him on camera, maybe whether it was through Skype or Zoom. They had him on back during the first case. Second case, he was just missing for several days. All right, continuing on. Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals. This is a music group. I'm not terribly familiar with this group, but apparently they are dealing with COVID right now. And they announced on October 2nd of 2023, that's this year, that they are currently dealing with a COVID outbreak. Then we come over to this, and I'll just go to the post on my website rather than pull something up. Yes, the FDA has finally approved Novavax. So for anyone who wants to go out and get the Novavax booster, you can get the Novavax booster. So that is some fantastic news. Then we have this, which just came in recently. There's a COVID outbreak declared at the Victoria General Hospital after 11 healthcare acquired cases have been confirmed from one unit. There have been several cases there have been several outbreaks this week that I have already reported on. Believe it or not, we're starting to near last week's total already, which is not good. There was also Cowboy Junkies postponed tour dates after COVID-19 outbreak in that band. And then there was a Lawrence private school, this is up in Massachusetts, moves to remote learning after rises in COVID cases. And then there was this that I posted. Not one, but how about 100 COVID outbreaks are being reported right now in Quebec, up in Canada, Quebec long-term care homes. They're just grappling with COVID outbreaks. So, I mean, it's really, really serious right now. And speaking of COVID outbreaks, take a look at my shirt right here. I'm wearing a Phillies shirt today. Phillies, that's our home baseball team here in Philadelphia, have made it to the postseason, and I gotta tell you, they're looking really good. Why am I bringing that up? Well, a lot of people are probably going to have watch parties. The ballpark had 46,000, between 45 and 46,000 people last night, so I think Phillies being in the postseason, it's safe to say that's also going to lead to outbreaks. Alrighty, one more thing I want to show you on my website, if I can find it, here we go, Hawaii Department of Health. I don't believe we talked about this, did we? I don't know. Remember last week we were talking about in the wastewater we were finding some monkeypox, Mpox cases, formerly known as monkeypox. Well, take a look at this. Hawaii Department of Health reports that they have an additional case of Mpox. And this is just as of recently. So, I mean, it is out there. You're not hearing the CDC talk much about it, but it is out there. Alrighty, moving on now to this. And this just came in right as I was getting ready to record. Breaking. Brazil reports its first outbreak of H5N1 bird flu in mammals. An infected sea lion was found on the beach on the coast of East Rio Grande do Sul. So yes, it's yet again another outbreak of sea lions. I mean, we've seen this several times. This is not good. Let's take a look at air quality values across the country. And what you will see is generally not too bad. We are seeing some above normal temperatures in the east and the northeast, and that's why you're seeing some of these yellows pop up. Down around Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, we're seeing some oranges there, even up into Illinois. So that's a little bit concerning, but check this out. Look at the west of the Mississippi River on west. You're seeing a whole lot of green. That's really good. Still some, isolated incidences of poor air quality in California, Oregon, and Washington, but not as bad as it was. And one last spot that is not terribly good would be up in the Great Lakes, but the rest of the country, at least on the western side of the coast, is doing much better than the east coast. All right, let's take a look at the illness outbreak dashboard. Hopefully it updated. It was frozen earlier. Alrighty, and as you can see here, not too bad. Still a few cases of this instances where it's above average in the west coast, and of course in the south, we are seeing these above average temperatures in the south and in the east, but really not that bad along the I-95 corridor. Nothing compared to what we saw in the summertime. Are there counties that are seeing higher than normal calls? Sure. I mean, look at Florida, look at Texas. But it's nothing like it was back in the summer months, which is good, and we hope to continue to see this to drop. We'll see, though. I mean, right now it is still above average temperatures, generally from the Mississippi River on east. That is going to change later this week, so we'll see. Hopefully these numbers will eventually change. All right, let's take a look at Walgreens. We will take a look at a few areas, and I got to say something here. I can actually report total number of tests is a 5-digit number. Look at this. Current week's positivity rate is 27%. Prior week was 28%. Difference of down 1%. Total test, 11,284. The prior week, 10,209. So yes, testing is significantly up. Let's take a look at a few states, shall we? We're not going to do every state. We'll do some today, then we'll do some again next time. Taking a look here at Maine. The great state of Maine today comes in with, not so good, a 38.1% positivity rate. The prior week was 9.1%. That's a difference of up 29% with a big increase in testing. 42 versus 11. That's not good. Let's stay in northern New England, shall we? Vermont, the positivity rate is down 18.8%, 31.3% versus 50%. Total tests, 16 versus 10. Let's do New Hampshire. New Hampshire is 36%. Prior week was 53.8%. That is down 17.8%. Total tests, 25 versus 13. Then we're coming over here to Massachusetts. Massachusetts is not doing all that good. 32.8% this week. Prior week was 25%. That's a difference of up 7.8%. And this is a legitimate rise because 58 tests versus 36. Let's come down to Maryland. Maryland this week is 31.6%. The prior week was 22.6%. Difference of up 9%. Total tests, 38 versus 31. You're generally seeing a theme here. Not all states are on the same page. Some states are dropping, some states are rising, and that's really the way it is. With the cases, hospitalizations, everything right now, it really varies state by state. And you're going to see how that plays out in wastewater when I show you that in just a few moments. Indiana positivity rate, 28.1% this week. The prior week was 24%. That's up 4.1%. Total tests, 135 versus 125. The one thing you are seeing in many states is an increase in testing, and that's good. Florida, 23.8% this week. Prior week, 24.8%. That's down 0.9%. Total test, 1,288. That's up. And the prior week was 1,243. Can we show you Texas? Yes, we can. And by the way, Texas did update today. I'll show you that update in just a few moments. Current week's positivity rate is 25.5%. The prior week is 26.2%. That's a difference of down 0.6%. Total test, 1,875. Prior week was 1,979. So testing, at least in Texas, is down. Nebraska positivity, not good. 27.8% this week. Prior week was 18.2%. Difference of up 9.6%. Total tests, 36 versus 33. Let's do some West Coast states, shall we? California, 27.8%. Prior week was 33%. Difference of down 5.3%. Total test, 551. And the prior week was 463. That's a big increase in testing. Oregon positivity, it's up a little bit, 28.3%. The prior week is 27.4%. Difference of up 0.9%. Total test, 99 versus 62. That is an increase in testing. And Washington. Washington is at 21.8% positivity this week, 31.7% last week. Difference of down 10%. Testing's up though, 248 tests versus 230. And what the heck, let's do one more. Illinois, 28.6% positivity this week. Prior week was 31.3%. That's a difference of down 2.8%. But testing is up. 844 tests versus 741. We'll do a few more states again next time. All right, taking a look at BioBot wastewater here. You can see that wastewater, at least in the Northeast, it's starting to rise again. On the West Coast, it's starting to rise again. It's flat in the South and in the Great Lakes. And I think what this is telling us is that, like I said, there's 50 states in the United States. State by state, each state is doing differently. We've been watching New York State hospitalizations go back up a little bit. New Jersey hospitalizations continue to rise. But yet you have other states where things are dropping. So it really varies in every individual state. And quite frankly, within a state, it varies in a county, city, town. It goes right down to your neighborhood. It really does. Let's take a look at Well, we just looked at BioBot. Let's take a look at the CDC wastewater site real quickly. We're not going to do any sites here, but 80 to 100% red sites, there's 141 of them. There's also 460 to 79% orange sites, light blue, 459 of them. medium shade blue, 248. Then you come over here to this 0 to 19% really dark blue, 56. New sites, there's 72 of them. We're not going to look at any wastewater scan sites today because we did that Walgreens, and that took up a large portion of time. Taking a look here at the latest variants, EG.5 leads at 29.4%. HV.1, something else that we're watching, at 12.9%. Then we come over here to hospitalizations, and hopefully this is updated, but I don't think it's going to update again until Friday. That looks like the new day for COVID data to update from the CDC. 19,079 people in the hospital. No update out of Chicago yet, I don't think. Oh, no, I think this did update. Hospital bed use is up 1.7%. Emergency department visits, they look to be relatively flat at this time. Hospitalizations down by 16. Cases, daily average is 137, that's down. Deaths, looks like that's down. And vaccinations administered is 2,558. So I don't know, is that the new update or not? It says September 27th, so I'm going with no. Sorry, that's not the new update, but there's the latest of what we're seeing from Chicago. Hopefully, maybe on the next video, we'll have this updated for, saying, October. Taking a look now at New Jersey. New Jersey continues to rise, as you can see here. You can see the hospitalizations in New Jersey have been rising since July. It's just been a steady incline. And there's now 664 people in the hospital, 66 people in the ICU, and 24 people on a ventilator in New Jersey. Discharges, 90 in the last 24 hours. Now, coming across the Delaware River, let's take a look at southeast Pennsylvania. First off, Philadelphia, 796 EMS incidents on Tuesday. And taking a live look right now at what's going on in Montgomery County. Wow. 22 EMS calls right now. You can see there's some that are related to vehicle accidents. You can see there are, let's see, how many respiratory emergencies? 1, 2, 3, 4 respiratory emergencies, multiple cardiac emergencies, unconscious subjects. I mean, it's very busy in Montgomery County right now, and if I went to the map view, it would show, some previous incidents that lag. It would probably be in the 30s right now. Taking a look at, wow, here's Chester County. How many incidents is this? This is at least 12, no, probably over 15 incidents. I'm seeing strokes. I'm seeing sick people. I'm seeing respiratory emergencies. Wow, this is just not good. I mean, seeing this many calls listed at once. Look at this. It's just full of calls right now. This is just in southeast Pennsylvania. Can't imagine if I had some CADs where I could look at the other parts of the country, other counties in the country. I wish I could. Sorry that I favoritised to this, but I don't know of any other CAD systems in other parts of the country. If you know of any in your city that are made public, please share it with me. I want to add them onto our pandemic updates here. All right, New York State cases, 1,828 cases today. Yes, that is the correct number. And hospitalizations. This is actually some good news. First off, New York City, hospitalizations, 666. That's an unlucky number. 73 people in the ICU. Why is this some good news? Because it's down ever so slightly. When we go on to statewide level, though, while it is down ever so slightly from yesterday, it is still up from last week's numbers. So that, my friends, is not good. You can see here, 1,681 people in the hospital, 173 people in the ICU. That is higher than any point last week, and quite frankly, higher than any point since they started rising back in July. All right, drum roll, please. It is time now for the weekly update out of Texas. And some more good news. Current week's cases in Texas are down. 13,423 cases this week, 15,523 in the previous week. That's down by 2,000. And then we come down here to deaths. Unfortunately, deaths did rise. They're the last lagging indicator in a wave. 66 deaths versus 60. That's up by 6. Hospitalizations down by 101. 1,214 people in the hospital versus the previous number that was 1,315. So again, while we looked at New Jersey rising, we saw ambulance calls up in Pennsylvania. You now come over to the state of Texas, and things are starting to trend downward. So it really, like I had said, the theme of today's update, it really comes down to your state. It comes down to your county. One area could be rising, and then you go a little few miles away, and that area is dropping. It really depends on variables, such as sporting events, fall festivals, all that type stuff. If you're in an area where there's a lot of events going on right now, you're just going to have high cases of COVID because there's a lot of variants circulating. But if you're in an area that's not seeing as many, or if you're in the south, which does tend to drop in the fall and then rise again in the winter, you know that cases right now should be dropping. I don't think this is going to last all that long, though, because let's just take a look at Texas one more time. It only dropped by 2,000, so it's not dropping as fast as it was previous weeks. It's starting to slow down. So Texas may perhaps remain at elevated levels, and let's remember, this does not include all the people who decide not to report their case, decide not to take a test. I mean, we know the real number in Texas is still likely far higher as it is in many different states. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's pandemic update. We'll have another pandemic update again sometime in the near future. I will see you all again next time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And if you know anyone that needs to see this data, by all means, share this with them. I'll see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic afternoon.